Have you ever felt that push, that, relentless drive to achieve your big goals, but there's also this nagging feeling underneath?
Mm.
Like maybe you're sacrificing your well-being, your inner peace along the way.
Yeah, that tension is so common, isn't it? Especially for high achievers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We call it the achiever's dilemma. And it often leads straight to burnout or just this sense of unease. You see it a lot when people pour themselves into ambitious projects, like, say, launching a podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's an intense process, very personal.
Right. So today we're doing a deep dive into a framework called mindful ambition. It sounds almost like a contradiction, but it's not.
Not at all.
Our mission here is to show you how ambition and mindfulness can actually work together, how they can be woven into this complementary strength.
Yeah, not compromising either one.
Precisely. And this deep dive is all about you, the human doing the work. It's about your internal journey, how you connect with yourself and others, and finding that sustainable drive.
And the core idea really is quite simple, but profound. It's that presence is actually your most powerful catalyst for progress.
Presence for progress. I like
Yes. So we'll walk you through three main pillars. It's all about your personal growth. First, designing your future you, then preparing your inner landscape, and finally, mastering the art of presence day to day.
that. Okay, let's unpack that first one. Designing your future you, the architect's blueprint. This sounds like laying the groundwork.
That's exactly it. A solid, authentic foundation for whatever you're pursuing, like that podcast example. Defining your real purpose.
But not just, I want more listeners.
Right.
It goes deeper.
Much deeper. We're talking about finding your massive transformative purpose, your MTP.
MTP. Okay.
It's about getting to your fundamental why. There's a great technique the sources mention, the 5 whys. You just keep asking why.
I've heard of that, like peeling an onion.
Pretty much. So maybe you start with, I want to share my expertise on my podcast. Why? To help people. Okay, why help people? To empower them. Why empower those people?
Keep going.
And maybe you land on something like, my purpose is to democratize access to empowering information for communities that don't usually get it. See?
Wow, okay. That feels different. Much more solid.
Exactly. That kind of MTP becomes your anchor. It makes your ambition resilient because it's coming from inside you, not just chasing trends or external validation.
That makes so much sense. It acts like an internal compass then,
Yeah,
protecting you from, say, market hype or comparing yourself constantly.
precisely. It ensures your drive is intrinsic, generated from within. That gives it stability, a kind of staying power that chasing external goals just, doesn't have. It feels more like a calling.
Right, a calling. Okay, so you have this compass, this MTP. What's next for building this future you?
You need an engine for growth. That's where a personal learning ecosystem comes in.
Ecosystem, like a network.
Sort of. An interconnected web of resources that you design for your growth. The sources point to 2 key parts: people and content.
People meaning mentors, peer groups.
Yep. People who've been there, people who can give honest feedback, offer support. And then content, other podcasts, books, courses, whatever, helps you refine the skills you need.
Like interviewing, storytelling, audio editing,
Yeah,
the nuts and bolts for a podcaster.
exactly. But it's not just about collecting information.
No.
It's about consciously building the infrastructure for your own learning. In a world changing, this fast, continuous growth isn't just nice to have, it's essential. It's like your personal R&D.
Your personal R&D.
Okay.
Got it. So MTP is the compass, learning ecosystem as the engine. Then what?
Then you map the route, mapping your personal pathway.
Breaking down the big vision.
Right. Taking that MTP and making it actionable. Defining stages. For a podcast, stage 1, launch. Stage 2, grow audience. Stage 3, Lanty interviews.
And identifying the skills needed for each stage.
Exactly. Key competencies. Maybe it's interviewing skills first, then community building, then maybe strategic partnerships.
Yeah.
And you also think about your own role, solo expert, team leader eventually.
That makes it feel much more manageable. Now, there was something about internal mobility. That sounds like moving jobs.
Not necessarily. It's more about finding ways to gain relevant experience right where you are or alongside what you're doing.
Ah, okay, like stretch assignments.
Yeah, or job shadowing, or just taking on small projects that build the skills you need. For someone starting a podcast, maybe it's getting booked as a guest on other shows first.
Good practice. Builds confidence.
Totally. Or collaborating with someone who's already doing it. Or even just practicing public speaking in a different context, like a local workshop. It's about building that skill set without needing a massive leap.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So that's the blueprint. Designing the future you. Now, you said the next part gets really interesting. Preparing the inner landscape.
Yes. This is where the deep psychological work comes in, often the most challenging, but maybe the most rewarding.
Sounds intense. What does it involve?
A key piece is confronting your shadow. This is from Carl Jung.
The shadow. The parts of ourselves we don't like.
Or the parts we've repressed or disowned. Things like fear of judgment, self-doubt, procrastination. Sometimes even feeling, ambitious but lazy.
That rings a bell for many, I bet.
The goal isn't to get rid of these parts. It's to acknowledge them, understand them, and integrate them.
Integrate. How?
By seeing them not just as problems, but as holding potential wisdom or energy. The sources talk about finding gold in the dark side. Maybe that fear of judgment hides a desire for connection. Maybe procrastination masks a fear of failure.
So you work with them, not against them.
Exactly. And sometimes our relentless ambition itself can be a kind of firefighter, pushing us so hard we don't have to feel some deeper pain or inadequacy.
Oof. It is deep.
It is. But healing those underlying wounded parts, as some models call them, is vital for having a drive that's truly healthy and sustainable, not just compulsive.
It makes you ask, is this ambition really serving me? Or is it a defense?
That's the critical question. Understanding your internal dynamics, maybe drawing on ideas from things like internal family systems, helps you shift from being driven by these parts to consciously leading them. It's about sustainable achievement, not burnout.
Okay. And tied into this inner landscape work is dealing with limiting beliefs, right?
Absolutely. Those ingrained stories we tell ourselves about what we're capable of, they act like invisible ceilings.
I'm not creative enough. I'm not interesting enough. I'll never finish this.
Those kinds of stories. And there are ways to rewrite them. One approach is about creating distance. Instead of, I'm not interesting, you frame it as, the not interesting enough story is showing up again. It externalizes it, makes it something you can observe, not something you are.
That creates a bit of space.
Yes. And then you actively look for unique outcomes, times in the past, even small ones, where that story wasn't true. Evidence against it.
Building a counter-narrative.
Exactly. And you can combine this with other techniques like digging down to find the core belief underneath. Why do I believe I'm not interesting? Maybe it leads to a core fear like, I don't actually add value.
Ouch. But uncovering it is the first step.
It is. Then you consciously gather evidence against that core belief from your actual life experiences and formulate a more empowering belief like, I add value in many situations. You practice reinforcing that.
So it's a conscious reconstruction job.
Very much so. It's not just wishful thinking. It's dismantling old structures and building new, more robust ones. That's what makes the change stick.
Okay, so confronting the shadow, reauthoring beliefs. What else is involved in preparing this inner landscape?
The next level is cultivating psychological sovereignty.
Psychological sovereignty. Sounds powerful, like being king or queen of your own mind.
Something like that. It's the ability to consciously govern your own mental state, building a kind of mental firewall.
A firewall against what? Negative comments? Comparison?
Both external pressures like those, yes, and also your own internal distortions that might creep back in. It protects your inner work.
How do you build this firewall?
The sources break it down into 3 pillars. First, cognitive autonomy. Thinking critically, forming your own judgments, not just absorbing everything.
Okay, makes sense.
Second, emotional regulation. Being able to mindfully notice your emotions as they arise, understand them, and manage your responses rather than being swept away.
Not reacting on impulse.
Right. And third, belief system awareness. Understanding your own beliefs, knowing where they came from, and being willing to revise them based on new evidence or insights.
So you're not rigidly stuck.
Exactly. This whole package, autonomy, regulation, awareness, protects you from getting affected by old patterns or societal pressures. It makes your inner transformation truly sustainable.
Wow, okay. That's a lot of powerful inner work.
So how does all this connect to the day-to-day, the actual doing of something like podcasting? That brings us perfectly to the third pillar, mastering the art of presence. This is about integrating mindfulness into your actions.
Bringing it all into the present moment.
Precisely. Jon Kabat-Zinn has a wonderful definition of mindfulness. Awareness that arises through paying attention, on purpose, in the present moment, non-judgmentally.
On purpose, present moment, non-judgmentally. Got it.
And he talks about several foundational attitudes. For ambitious people, one is incredibly key, non-striving.
Non-striving, that sounds counterintuitive for achievers.
It does, but it's crucial. It means, yes, you hold your long-term goals, your MTP, but during the process, while you're recording, editing, interviewing, you let go of the attachment to the outcome.
As you focus just on the task at hand.
Exactly. You aim simply to be present with whatever is arising in the moment. The sound of the voice, the flow of conversation, the feel of the editing software. You decouple the action from the anticipated result.
And that brings peace, even while working hard.
Both progress and peace, because you're fully engaged. Other attitudes feed into this. Non-judging, observing your work without harsh criticism. Patience, letting things unfold. Beginner's mind, bringing fresh eyes each time. And acceptance and letting go.
Acceptance of what is, not wishing it were different in that moment.
Right. Seeing things as they are, not getting attached to specific outcomes. It's liberating.
This non-striving feels like the antidote to that achiever's dilemma we started with.
I think it is. It lets you be fully immersed in the journey, finding enjoyment there, not just delaying satisfaction until you hit the goal. That's where peak performance and peace genuinely meet. Your energy isn't wasted on anxiety about the future.
Building on that, you mentioned applying Eckhart Tolle's ideas, the power of now in action.
Yes, very practical techniques. First, observe the thinker.
Watching your own thoughts.
Stepping back from that constant internal monologue, that voice in the head, just witnessing the thoughts float by without getting caught up in them, without judging them, creates separation.
Okay, what else?
Inner body awareness, bringing your attention to the subtle feelings inside your body, the aliveness in your hands, your feet, your breath.
How does that help?
It grounds you instantly in the present, pulls energy away from mental noise and into physical reality. Very calming, very centering.
I see that.
Then there's accept the isness of the moment. Radical acceptance. Whatever is happening right now, even if it's unpleasant, a tech glitch, a difficult guest, you accept that it is happening.
Not fighting reality.
Right. Tolle says you have 3 choices. Leave the situation, change it, or accept it totally. Anything else, especially mental resistance and complaint, just creates suffering.
Leave it, change it, or accept it. Simple but powerful.
And finally, find joy in routine activities. Bringing that same mindful, non-judgmental attention to the mundane tasks.
Like podcast research or editing out ums and ahs.
Exactly. Instead of rushing through them impatiently, you bring your full awareness. Notice the details, the rhythm. They become opportunities for presence, even peace, not just chores.
It's amazing how these practices, which can sound quite spiritual, actually seem like potent productivity tools.
They really are. By cutting out the mental energy leaks, worrying about the future, ruminating on the past, you free up your full attention for now. And that total focus, that's the gateway to flow.
That state where you're completely absorbed and performance just happens naturally.
Precisely. Where peak performance meets deep enjoyment.
So wrapping this all up, this mindful ambition framework, it's really rejecting that old idea, isn't it? You have to choose between success and sanity or well-being.
Absolutely. It offers a path to integration, an integrated self that can hold a big vision but live, work, and create from a place of presence.
It weaves together that clear purpose from the architect's phase.
The deep inner work of preparing the landscape.
And these daily practices of mindfulness and presence.
It's all about cultivating a drive that's healthy, truly balanced, and actually sustainable for the long haul. Something robust, fulfilling, and genuinely yours.
So here's something to leave you with. Consider for a moment how much more impact you could have, how much more actual joy you could find in your work if you consistently chose presence over that feeling of frantic effort. What may be one small step, just one thing you could do today to embrace the isness of this moment, even while you're reaching for your biggest goals?
A powerful question to sit with.
Indeed. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.